Hi, guys. Welcome back to Lattes and Legacies. This is episode 12, and I'd like to introduce you to Mike Donnelly, who's going to be helping me today getting through this message. Mike, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Well, sometimes we do need a helping hand. And Mike, you've been a good friend, and with everything that you do, you're going to help me get through this one. So I appreciate that. But as common in this channel, the Lattes and Legacies, we introduce a coffee of the area, a local coffee, and then we talk a little bit more about Kayla's story. So let's get right to the coffee of the day. So, Mike, the coffee of the day is right outside the Nashville area. We picked this one. It's called Coffee Culture. And ideally, we want people who are visiting the area to get to know some of these special and private coffee places. We wanted to showcase this one today. You could look it up on your Google Maps, and hopefully we'll be able to delight your coffee taste for whatever it is that you prefer to have. And now for the content, as always, we have been going through this journey and documenting Kayla's story, but this is where, Mike, you come in on a day like today. I have to be honest with you. I'm going to need your help. So go ahead, Mike.
Well, Minor, you've been doing Lattes and Legacies on your own. What's going on?
So, Mike, I need my audience to really understand there's a big difference between happiness and joy. And happiness could literally be just described as, the moment that something goes wrong in your day, you're out, like your happiness is gone. But joy just literally means sometimes just getting up, just getting to, what you normally do. And this is what's going on today. It's been a struggle for me to just get this out, and I made a promise that I would continue to tell Kayla's story. So that's what's going on, and I appreciate you being on here with me.
Well, what you're doing is a good thing. And the weaknesses that a human being has are changed dramatically by the willingness to acknowledge those weaknesses and the willingness to go forward regardless, because now you're gaining strength by acknowledging the weakness. So I really respect your ability to do this. So tell us some more about the days following Kayla's hospital transfer to Philadelphia.
Yeah, so as we continue to document Kayla's story, really what it's come down to is at this point, we're roughly towards the fourth week in September, and the family continues to pray. We continue to meet on a nightly basis, and at this point that we're talking about the possibility of giving Kayla a transplant, some transplant for her lungs. And so there was a whole process. It's something that we needed to get through. And in this channel, we talk about hospital trauma because it was 4 months of this whole ordeal. And sometimes it becomes very, very difficult to talk about because it puts me back in the trauma. It kind of takes me back to that time frame where it was so difficult to even talk about it. But because of a lot of the help that we had from family and friends, we were able to just keep our faith in the forefront of everything. So yeah, this was not a difficult, this was a very difficult time. And this is a very difficult time for me to be able to share this with you guys. So I appreciate you, Mike.
Well, I think every one of us has gone through some serious problems, but yours was a little more difficult, to say the least. And to get through this is not an easy process for you. So look, you always talk about hope, and this is a very trying time for you. How do you get by?
Oh, that's a really good question, Mike. And there is a moment in your life that you recognize you can't do it alone. You have to really lean in and zero in on the power that only uh, a living God can give you. And sometimes we just need to rest on that. And sometimes we just need to tell ourselves that it's okay. It's okay to be that way. And it's okay to go through it. It's okay to even be vulnerable. Let other people know what you're going through because they might be going through the same things. So how do I get by? I am hoping that as I go through this, other people will hear it and know that there is a way out of it. And by doing so, they will themselves find hope. So how do I get through it? On a regular basis, I check myself and say, you know, maybe there's a day that you could do it all on your own and you could just keep going. Sometimes you need to reach out to family members. Sometimes you need to reach out to the people that you work closely with. And in this case, Mike, I was able to reach out to you and have you help me go through this. I think that that's the lesson. Sometimes we need to allow ourselves to have other people around us embrace us and help us walk through it so that we could keep telling the story, because the reality is that I promised that I would keep telling Kayla's story no matter how difficult it is. So as we go into this week, I start thinking about this. Good Friday's coming up, Easter's coming up. Everything points to that hope that we have. Sometimes people take hope for granted, though, because they don't allow themselves to speak about the difficulty and the struggle. And so then hope doesn't seem as real. But in this situation, I think that it's very clear that the difficulty and the trauma and the loss and everything that we've had to go through is pointing towards that hope that we have in the resurrection and in the beauty of what God is doing in our lives. So Mike, thank you again for being on here with me. I honestly couldn't do this today by myself. I appreciate you doing that. And for everybody that's listening, just know that there is always hope and you can always reach out to somebody, even in the midst of difficult times or good times. You can always reach out and make sure that you stay connected with people. This is another episode of Lattes and Legacies. Thank you, Mike.
Anytime, bud.
Thank you.